And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. We are continuing on with our NFL Draft Prospect Countdown. We are on day 23 of our 73-day countdown. We got a wide receiver from Ole Miss today that we're going to be looking at. A little bit of a shorter wide receiver, so he is going to have to kind of prove himself that he can go out and get the ball and catch the ball and high point the ball because, I mean, we got 5'10 wide receivers in this league acting like 6'2 wide receivers in Tyreek Hill. So this man's got a little bit to kind of make up for in kind of maybe a lackluster height department at the wide receiver position. But that's what we got today. We're also going to be kind of continuing on with kind of our challenging our own NBA narrative segment. We went kind of heavy in kind of the star players that we talk about, but let's start kind of going over these role players now, these secondary players that, still contribute to huge winning teams. Basically everybody on the Knicks, kind of secondary role players, Jared Allen, LaMelo Ball, kind of those types of players that we still love to cheer for and we love to root for. I mean, we made LaMelo Ball an all-star. He was one of our all-star votes. So, I mean, these second-tier players, they still have so much to kind of put out there on the court to elevate the team around them and to kind of be not the closers, but to kind of help, control the game so the stars can take over in the clutch, in the late fourth quarters to kind of seal the deal. But you need those big bench pieces. You need those kind of third, fourth options. So that's what we're going to be kind of looking at, not the top tier players, but kind of, the secondary players that we still love to watch and root for. And then we also didn't even talk about the dunk contest yesterday on the show. That was like the one thing that we forgot. So we are going to kind of break down the dunk contest. Some maybe disrespectful scores were given out in that. So we'll have to kind of right that wrong with giving these dunkers the accurate scores that they truly deserved. And we're looking at Cassius Stanley, truly disrespected the dunk contest. So we got all that on the show today. Today is also the last day of no NBA, so thank goodness, right? It's been a brutal kind of 4 or 5 days here without the NBA. At least on Sunday we had the All-Star game, and that was about like a 5-hour event, so I mean, hey, I'll take that. But back to the NBA tomorrow, 2 games on, back on making money with our money makers, talking the games, breaking down the stats, looking for the great value. We're back tomorrow, folks. Cannot wait. Alrighty, now we can start the show. Let's start with, obviously, the news of the day yesterday. They paid Dak Prescott, and it's about damn time. I mean, after what happened last season, I don't think Jerry Jones literally had no other option here. You had to pay Dak whatever he wanted because the Cowboys floundered hard last season, super hard. Let's get to the deal first, and then we'll talk about the Cowboys. They are giving Dak Prescott a 4-year, $160 million deal. 126 of that deal is guaranteed. So, yes, sir, cashed out, truly deserved. I mean, when we just look at what the Cowboys did last season, 6 wins. Are you kidding me? Andy Dalton couldn't step up. Zeke, that was probably the worst season Zeke ever had. So, how does he not step up when he's now the guy? When it's Dak and Zeke, you can make the argument on any given day of who's kind of the primary kind of focus of the offense, but let's just say it's Dak. Dak's the one, Zeke's the 2. So when Dak goes down this season, Zeke needs to elevate his own play and be like, hang on, I'm the guy now. Let me go out. Let me get all these yards. Let me be the main focus. But that never happened. Instead, he's fumbling the ball and losing the game and fumbling in key scenarios when, it's a tie game or they're down 7, but they have a chance because, out of halftime, they get the ball first, so they have a chance to come out of the gate and, tie the game. But then he fumbles and they get down more and he doesn't step it up and he has no great games this season. So you had to pay Dak Prescott. Zeke didn't step up, who you've already paid. You already were like, all right, we're going to give you big money. That's not turning out to be so well. You pick up Andy Dalton, who was a career serviceable quarterback at the Bengals, always going like 8-8. Just if they made the playoffs, it was a wild card first round exit. But he was always always just average. He gave you kind of maybe 49% chance to win a game, maybe not truly 50%, but he gave you a decent odds to win the game night in, night out, every single week when he was with the Bengals. So we really didn't, we really kind of expected him to be decent here, be kind of serviceable, be that backup, that the Cowboys needed just for kind of these couple of games. Well, a lot of games because Dak went down early, I think like week 6. But, take that 10 games and go, 6-4, 7-3. Try not to go 5-5, but just try and do something meaningful while you're here, because this is your last chance at the quarterback position here, backup, starting, whatever, because now you're truly done. You're truly exposed. You can't be the starter. You can't be the backup. So why are we going to pay you any money? So, Andy Dalton didn't step up. And then that brings us back to Mike McCarthy, who worked on a Super Bowl winning roster, who had Aaron Rodgers his entire career. He comes over and he couldn't elevate anybody's play. Couldn't get Andy Dalton to work. Couldn't get Zeke to work when Zeke's already proven that he does pretty much work most of the time. Couldn't get any of the receivers to step up, the line to step up, the defense to step up, the coordinators to step up, the coaches to step up. Literally nobody on this Cowboys team stepped up when Dak Prescott went down. So Dak Prescott's the one true leader of this team. That's what the 2020 Cowboys season showed me. Dak Prescott is the lifeblood, the main guy, the go-to guy, the motivator, the contributor, the focuser. He's literally everything. He's the glue that holds this team together, because when Dak Prescott's at quarterback, folks, they never go worse than 8-8. They never win 6 games. Dak Prescott would be like, y'all won 6 games without me? What are y'all, crazy? I would never do that. I would have way more wins than 6 wins, and let's just prove it. Let's look at what he did in his entire career. First season, yes sir, out of the gate, 13-3, fantastic. Next season, 9-7, still a little serviceable, still in that kind of hunt. Definitely in the NFC East, because it's definitely not the strong division here. But, 9-7, in these last couple, week 14, 15, 16, 17, the back half of the season, you're still in it to make a playoff push. Then he goes 10-6, bingo, bango. That's what we're talking about. Then he goes 8-8. That was his worst season. 8-8 was his worst season. He would never, ever go 6-10. This roster was way too kind of stacked. I mean, talent-wise, they've got good pieces. You've got Zeke. You got Andy Dalton. You've got Amari Cooper. You've got CeeDee Lamb. You've got all these big time, and everybody, always says, oh, Cowboys have the best line in all of football, but you couldn't make it work without Dak Prescott. I thought y'all didn't even want to pay this man. Y'all wanted to franchise this tag every single season because he was asking way too much, but without him, you win 6 games. All right, Jerry, we knew you were kind of, your hands were tied in this situation. Dak Prescott goes down. Nobody steps up. Nobody plays to kind of their expected level of play. It's just everyone was like, all right, Dak's down. Let's kind of phone it in for this entire season. Nobody wanted to get better. Nobody wanted to work for it. And I do want to put a lot of that blame on Mike McCarthy. I mean, he's not getting out scot-free. I put most of the blame on Mike McCarthy, but Zeke needs some blame. Andy Dalton needs some blame. The line needs some blame. The defense needs some blame as well. But, you had to pay Dak Prescott, folks. You have no choice. He's a solid starter here in this league. I believe he can win you a ring. I believe he's got that ability in him to do so. Just need everybody to step it up, and we know in 2020, Dak Prescott's the only player in Dallas who is willing to put in the work, willing to dedicate his time and his leadership to this team, because we just saw no leadership here last season. So Jerry Jones had no choice but to pay this man, and I'm truly kind of I don't even know. I'm glad he got paid. I'm glad Dak Prescott kind of the recognition and the respect that he truly deserves, because last season was a dumpster fire for the Cowboys. All right, now that he did get signed, let's see where he ranks in kind of the highest paid quarterbacks there are right now. Patrick Mahomes is still number 1 with $45 million a year. He got the 10-year $500 million in the bank contract just last season, so he's still number 1 quarterback here. But with this new contract, Dak Prescott goes to the number 2 quarterback the number 2 paid quarterback here in this league at $40 million. All right, now let's see who's under him. Deshaun Watson at $39 million. Dak Prescott's not better than Deshaun Watson, all right? Deshaun Watson is a magnificent talent here. So Dak Prescott maybe a little bit overpaid because of what Deshaun Watson's at with $39 million. Wilson is better than Dak Prescott. I mean, I don't know if I'm saying anything. I don't think I'm saying anything kind of blasphemous here, but I'm taking Russell Wilson over Dak Prescott, and Russell Wilson's only giving $35 million. Then we go to Jared Goff. I mean, this 2021 season is definitely going to kind of prove what Jared Goff is as a quarterback. But right now, yeah, I think I take Dak Prescott over Jared Goff. We're going to have a quote when we talk about Jared Goff a little bit later. But I mean, it seems like nobody really liked this man at quarterback. Nobody really thought this man was the real deal. So Jared Goff getting paid $33 million, Dak Prescott getting paid $40. I think that is kind of decent value there because we do take Dak Prescott over Jared Goff. Then Aaron Rodgers is at $33.5 million, but he's kind of in a different market, a different bracket. He's kind of like with Tom Brady, kind of aging out of this league, but still want to get paid, but still want to leave kind of money for everybody else, some weapons around Aaron Rodgers. So we really can't even take him at $33.5 million and compare it to Dak Prescott. Because we're taking Aaron Rodgers over Dak Prescott, any day of the week, obviously. Kirk Cousins at $33 million. I'll take Dak Prescott over Kirk Cousins. They are maybe the same kind of quarterback, definitely needs kind of great wide receivers to be good. I mean, Stephon Diggs with Kirk Cousins, that made it work, but now without Kirk Cousins, kind of floundered a little bit offensively. Dak Prescott, when he got Amari Cooper, he played fantastically. Haven't really seen him with the kind of experience under his belt without a true number one wide receiver. So we really can't make that comparison right now. Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott, I think they're very similar in play, and Carson Wentz is getting $32 million. Not really sure who I take over Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz. It is kind of a tough, maybe just on a daily, just it changes every day. Maybe I'm waking up, I'm thinking, yeah, I think I do like Carson Wentz better than Dak Prescott, and then, maybe 2 weeks later, I'm like, no, I think I do take Dak Prescott over Carson Wentz. So it is kind of close there. Carson Wentz getting paid $32 million, Dak Prescott getting paid $40, and then Matt Ryan here to round out kind of the top tier quarterbacks here, or the top paid quarterbacks here. Matt Ryan at $30 million, Dak Prescott at $40 million. Do I take Dak Prescott over Matt Ryan? Over these last 2 seasons, Matt Ryan has really been frustrating me in the red zone. So yes, I do take Dak Prescott over Matt Ryan. So, there are a couple of quarterbacks clearly better than Dak Prescott. So, yes, Dak Prescott is a little bit overpaid, but, you had no choice. You risked it. You wanted to keep franchise tagging him because you thought his value would decrease. But after what happened last season, just on leadership alone, Dak Prescott is worth $40 million. Absolutely. Because nobody, folks, I'm telling y'all, nobody, it was so we were watching the Cowboys every single week. We wanted to bet them every single week. We wanted to root for them every single week because we wanted to see Andy Dalton get it done and Zeke Elliott to step it up, and we didn't want to keep clowning Mike McCarthy every single week, but nobody stepped it up, so we kept on clowning all those players, and it's unfortunate, but yes, sir, Dak Prescott is truly worth $40 million every single year on leadership alone. Alrighty, let's move off of that topic, and now we get this one, and I do not know what to make. I don't know what's real anymore, folks. I don't know what is real. Alrighty, here we go. The Seahawks left out Russell Wilson in letter to season ticket holders about the 2021 NFL season. Alrighty, so there's a lot to unpack here, folks, so let's get down to it. So the Seahawks sent out a letter just kind of, thanking, season ticket, holders. Hey, can't wait to have you for the season. We're going to get it done this season. We're going to the chip game, baby. That's kind of a nice little hype letter they sent out. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, okay, they left out Russell Wilson. Did they say any other players? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. The other star players on their team. They mentioned DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jamal Adams, and Jordan Brooks. Those are the players that they name, but you don't name your franchise face of your franchise, the person that won you that Super Bowl. DK Metcalf, Jamal Adams, and I don't think Jordan Brooks were on that Super Bowl winning team, but you're having them in the letter and not Russell Wilson. So is Russell Wilson going to be traded to the Bears? Are the Seahawks actually getting rid of Russell Wilson, or is this fake? Is this a fake letter? And it may be a fake letter because that brings us to our next point here. Here we go. I wanted to kind of get the actual letter up myself, so I went to go to this man's Twitter page, but it actually got it up here, so interesting. Oh, wow, they changed it. Hang on, did he take his... Hang on, this may be crazy. So initially, well, let's go back here. Initially, I couldn't find the letter on this man's social media because he actually changed his Twitter handle. The dude AL, the dude Al, at that dude Al. That was the man's Twitter handle, so I went to type it in, and that man didn't exist. It's a new handle now, and the only reason I knew it was the same guy because he kept the same profile picture. We were able to see this profile picture here. We go to type in that dude AL. Nobody comes up. He does not exist. But we get this guy, that man Al. So he ended up changing his name, but his tweet, literally like 10 minutes before the show, his tweets were locked. They were locked, but now it's open. This is wild. So now I thought, since he had to change all those things, that maybe, he faked the letter. Maybe this was a fake letter he sent to himself. But now that his tweets are open, looks like he may have deleted. Did he delete the tweet? Let's see. This is 7 hours ago. I want to see the letter. Here it is. Alrighty. So this is the official letter right here. All right. It's looking official, honestly. This does look official. I've never been a season ticket holder, so I don't know what a letter would look like. But if his tweets are back open now, I would say this letter is legitimate now. There's nothing to hide. He's not trying to hide anything. So, yeah, maybe this letter is true. But the biggest question mark still remains. Is Russell Wilson going to leave Seattle? Well, if you're left out of a welcoming letter to your season ticket holders and trying not to, hype up, hey, your season ticket holders to be like, hey, maybe don't expect Russell Wilson here this season. We didn't write Russell Wilson's name out on this letter, so I don't know why you would think, Russell Wilson would be our quarterback or get excited about watching him because, we told y'all to get excited for DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, not Russell Wilson. So that's y'all problem for getting excited to watch Russell Wilson when we basically kind of told you he's not going to be here next season. So another chapter in the saga of Russell Wilson in Seattle. I think this letter hint right here, I think this is kind of a huge hint right here. I think it's going to be gone. I think it's going to be traded, and it's going to be absolute madness when that happens. Twitter will explode when that happens, honestly. And if he goes to the Bears, holy moly. Matt Nagy, he better be sweating because now the pressure's on Matt Nagy now, so... We'll see, folks, but Russell Wilson, I think he's leaving now. I think I'm totally sold on Russell Wilson leaving Seattle coming into today. I would probably be on 70% of Russell Wilson staying in Seattle, but now that he's left off this kind of welcome letter to season ticket holders, I'm shifting over to kind of 60% he's leaving, maybe even 70. I'm going the other way now, 70% chance that Russell Wilson is no longer a Seattle Seahawk just based on this letter alone, folks. Oh, man, wild. Alrighty, but we could be getting bamboozled again. This is why we had to bring this up, because we got bamboozled yesterday when the story came out that Ryan Fitzpatrick was planning on retiring. Then, a couple hours later, after we're done with the show, Ryan Fitzpatrick is like, what are y'all talking about? That didn't come from me. So we get here. Ryan Fitzpatrick plans to continue on playing in 2021. So once again, we don't know what is real and what is fake anymore. The NFL offseason, fake stories come out every single day, like we say, because people need content to talk about. We unfortunately fell into the trap of Ryan Fitzpatrick yesterday. That's why we were trying to do our due diligence on this Russell Wilson letter, just trying to find the actual letter, who tweeted it, who sent it, all that. So when we saw that man changed his profile to kind of private and we couldn't look at his tweets, we thought we were getting bamboozled again. But then here's another twist in the story. Live right now, it's unblocked. His tweets are public now again. He just changed his handle for some reason. Why would he do that? Literally a day goes by and you change your handle. I don't get it. So I don't know what to make anymore, folks. Everything's fake to me. Nothing is real anymore. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to play again. Probably not for the Dolphins, but for somebody. I don't know who, but he plans to play. So riddle us that. Alrighty, let's try to get back to some concrete factual news. What's the next story up? Anything good? Oh, yes. This is good right here. All right. Just happened today, about an hour before we went live. Buccaneers are going to franchise tag wide receiver Chris Godwin, and honestly, this is probably the best decision for the Bucs. Chris Godwin was kind of the unsung hero of this Bucs kind of run here. He was probably the most consistent wide receiver, and I know it's kind of crazy to say when they've got Antonio Brown and Mike Evans and even Gronk, at the tight end position, but he was honestly the best piece, the most consistent catching piece of this Bucs team. And we'll break it down. We've got the kind of proof to back it up here. I mean, just what my eyes were telling me throughout the entire season, going deep to Chris Godwin, he was always kind of good. Not, in the touchdown in the red zone, but that's what they were using Gronk and Mike Evans for. But between, the 20s, that's when they really used Chris Godwin, and that's really where their production came from, just on kind of, from 20 to 20 before they get into the red zone, before they're close to scoring, just from where they get the ball from usually about the 20 to 25 yard line to the other opponent's kind of 20 to 25 yard lines. That's when they really utilize Chris Godwin. So here we go. Let's kind of get down into these stats a little bit more. So let's just talk about this season alone. We will talk about 2019 in a second, but in 2020, this season alone, he only played 12 games, first of all right? So 4 less games played than, Mike Evans. I know Antonio Brown's has less than 12 games played, but we'll talk about that. So, in only 12 games, he had 840 yards. Fantastic. Once again, only 7 touchdowns, so very good. Still solid. But like we were saying, they didn't really use him to score. That's when Gronk and Mike Evans came in. But just in regular field of play, Chris Godwin here. So, 840 yards in 12 games. And I want to kind of point out the catching percentage of how well and consistent he was catching the ball. So he had 84 targets in 65 receptions, which translates to a 77% catch probability, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's compare that stat first to the other wide receivers here. Mike Evans, now he does have more targets, 109 targets and 70 receptions, but that's only a 64% catch percentage right there. So Chris Godwin, more of a secure catcher. Yes, you do Mike Evans a little bit more, but still the percentage is better. All right, let's go to their longest play. Mike Evans, his longest pass play of the season was 50, and Chris Godwin is right up there with 47 yards, so there wasn't too much disparity right there between the deep ball with these two great receivers. What was the other one we have to look at? Yards per target. Chris Godwin's at 10 yards for every target, where Mike Evans, he's only at 9 yards a target. So going a little bit deeper, we know they use Mike Evans a little bit more in the red zone, shorter field. So, the target's only like 5 yards because they're using him on, the 10 or 5 yard line there. So, his yards per targets is down a little bit. That's why, Chris Godwin, we think, is a little bit of a more major piece here for the Bucs. So franchising him is absolutely the right decision. And now let's go to Antonio Brown and kind of Rob Gronkowski to see where they kind of line up with Chris Godwin. Let's go here with the catch percentage. Now, Antonio Brown, 62 targets with 45 receptions, and he only started 4 games. He played 8 games, but only started 4 of those. And his catch percentage was still 72%. So, once again, Chris Godwin, the best catch percentage on the team. The yards per target for Antonio Brown were only 7.8, so really not targeting him really too much down the field. So we get nice intermediate routes by Antonio Brown. We get Mike Evans in the red zone, and we got Chris Godwin throughout basically the 20s through the 20s here. And now let's compare it to Rob Gronkowski. We know Brady loved throwing to this man. Played all 16 games, had 77 targets, more or a little bit less targets than Chris Godwin with the 84, but still very, very close with 45 receptions. And that's only a 58% catch percentage, so really not that great there. And the yards per target are 8 with Rob Gronkowski. So we are clearly seeing that Tom Brady is going a little bit deeper with Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's a better kind of catcher than these other wide receivers, more of a secure catcher, 77%. And it's kind of is it the best in his career? It is the best in his career. So going a little bit further down this field on these throws, he's catching these deeper balls more consistently, 840 yards in only 12 games, where Mike Evans is at 1,000 yards in 16 games. So once again, utilizing Chris Godwin a lot more and a lot deeper than Mike Evans, and he did that on so many more or so many less receptions. I mean, Mike Evans had 109 targets while, Chris Godwin only had 84. So truly great here that the Bucs franchise tag Chris Godwin. I mean, Chris Godwin can be the number 1 wide receiver. We saw what he did in 2019 with Jameis Winston, he had 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 121 targets, 71% still catch percentage there with 121 targets and 1,300 yards and, averaging 11 yards per target with Jameis Winston. So we know this man can be the number one wide receiver. We see him with the deep ball with Tom Brady. We see him more consistent in kind of the midfield-ish area, but they just go to other players to score the ball. But you need these other great wide receivers to get you into the field of play to score the balls, to kind of complete off the drive. So I truly believe this is the best option for not only Chris Godwin, but for the Bucs to franchise tag him, lock him up for another year, because he is kind of your main wide receiver target. Yes, you don't score with him a lot, but he still gets you in the position to score the ball. He's a consistent catcher. And Tom Brady, not the most accurate this season. We saw him throw a lot of picks down the stretch in this year, but Chris Godwin always comes through in the clutch, goes downfield, catches the ball in traffic, in secure hands down there. So I think this is fantastic that the Bucs have him. And because I truly believe this is Chris Godwin is the unsung hero here for the Bucs offense. And do I dare say the best wide receiver on the Bucs? I'll put my foot down. I'll say it. The best wide receiver on the Bucs, it's Chris Godwin, and they just franchise tagged him. Alrighty, moving on here. Maybe we got a little bit of a fan here for Takes by Fans. Here we go. Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen thinks film study, folks, will lead to year 2 leap. Quote, I feel my game is going to transcend so much. Folks, we were doing film study every single week in this league. Is he watching our film? Is he watching our film study to get better? Probably, yes. I'll say yes, folks. Yes. So we get a fan here, Patrick Queen, loving our show. Loving our show. And before you all come at me in the comments, I get it. It's his own film study. I'm not stupid, folks. It's a joke. Jeez. Don't come at me, please. Let's move on. Here we go. Rams. Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe this story. Here we go. We get more bashing of Jared Goff, and I cannot wait for this 2020 revenge season of Jared Goff getting thrown out. He got thrown out like trash. They chose Matt Stafford over Jared Goff. Matt Stafford is a little bit aging out of this league, who has back problems, who is a decent, not hugely injury prone, but we see him get kind of banged up every single season. Now he is a true warrior and plays through a lot of these injuries, so we definitely respect Matt Stafford for that. But still, they basically just threw away Jared Goff like old pizza, like a trash bag, just threw him out and got somebody a little older. They took out trash and brought in an older trash bag, folks. But here we go. We get Rams players now kind of dissing Jared Goff a little bit more. So we had initially Sean McVay kind of saying, yeah, we just got to kind of move on. And now we get Rams defensive end Michael Brockers on Matthew Stafford saying it's a, quote, it's a level up over Jared Goff. Damn, the disrespect once again by Jared Goff. So I'm telling you, this season is going to have so many narratives, especially however these kind of Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson kind of scenarios play out, if they kind of come to new teams or not. But the scenario surrounding 2021 NFL season is probably going to be one of the most fun to watch. I mean, I thought this season was going to be great, and it was, with Tom Brady going somewhere and kind of having to now challenge, Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees in the NFC, and he did, and he won them both. So congratulations. But now we maybe even be getting a better season here with so many quarterback mix-up here, so many quarterbacks that, hey, I got to prove myself now. Dak just got a deal. He's kind of got to step it up even a little bit more than what he's already been doing. We get Jared Goff, who basically is going to a new team with a new head coach that I don't think is going to work, and kind of getting disrespected by everybody on this Rams team now. Sean McVay got rid of him, and now we get players speaking out saying that Matt Stafford is kind of a clear level up over Jared Goff. So the revenge season of Jared Goff, the kind of do or die season by Sean McVay, so many parallels. And then we got Matt Stafford. How is he going to do? How is he going to fare in this Rams system? Is he going to elevate their offense better than Jared Goff? Because he has to. He has to, or Jared Goff wins. Is Jared Goff going to lead the Lions to a Super Bowl with all this disrespect around him and so much motivation around him? Does he lead the Lions with year one rookie head coach Dan Campbell and really no weapons over there? Can Jared Goff elevate their play? It's going to be fun to watch, folks. Truly great here. But the disrespect of Jared Goff is getting a little out of hand, but maybe it's deserved. We'll see. This season alone is going to tell all, folks. Truly. Cannot wait. Oh, my goodness. Woof. Alrighty. And then we are not going to watch this. We'll watch this tomorrow. The top 10 plays from the Colts. Going a little late here. We spent, half hour on these stories. But yeah, we'll watch this tomorrow. Still got some other things to do here on the show, so we'll watch this tomorrow on the show, but I can kind of guarantee my little prediction here of this top 10 highlights for the Colts. I don't think Phillip Rivers is going to be in more than one play here, honestly. I expect it to be kind of all running backs, maybe the defense a little bit as well, but kind of all offense by running backs, the two great running backs that they have. Hines and Jonathan Taylor, but do not think we'll be seeing Phillip Rivers here tomorrow in this top 10 plays. Alrighty, those are all the stories that we had to cover for today. So let's head over to our basketball topic of today, which is just kind of continuing on challenging our own narratives. We kind of looked at kind of the elite kind of premier players, our kind of MVP candidates, kind of the top tier teams in the league, the players in the league. We kind of were looking at them, but let's kind of see how our kind of favorite backup players are doing, our kind of second tier favorite players are doing. How are they looking? How are they faring compared to everybody else? So let's go here. Well, let's start here with so we got this page 2. So this is 51 through 100 of the kind of top players in the league according to ESPN. So let's see if we can get anything here. Let's find a name and just kind of start going here. So here we go. First, we got to find kind of our second tier players, and we can start here with Thaddeus Young. Why not? Kind of a potential 6th man of the year candidate that we are looking at. Thaddeus Young averaging 12 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds off the bench in only 25 minutes off the bench. So still some solid numbers. And, we do like what Thaddeus Young is bringing to this Bulls team, kind of a true kind of bench player needed for them to all work. We know Zach LaVine. Let's see if we can get Kobe White here, because we've been kind of a little disappointed on what he's doing a little bit for this Bulls team. We get him right here. Kobe White's averaging 16 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds a game on 33 minutes. So definitely has to get the points up a little bit. He's got to be a little bit of a more consistent scorer, because Zach LaVine and Kobe White are pretty much the two scorers, the two kind of premier players in that offense that the Bulls are running right now. So definitely need a little bit more production out of Kobe White, and that's something that we've been saying all season, because we've seen him, go for 30 points and shoot fantastic, but then we get teens and points, and in some of these games that they're losing, kind of most of the game they're losing, Kobe White's not stepping up. We can always count on Zach LaVine. He's very, very consistent, but they need that other. Like we say, you cannot get it done single-handedly in this league. You cannot do it. LeBron James can't even do it. So if LeBron James can't do it, and LeBron James has gotten very close a lot of times, he'll bring trash to the finals. He just can't win the finals on that trash, because you need that second piece kind of collectively throughout an entire season. So, and we know Zach LaVine's not even anywhere near the same stratosphere that LeBron James is. So definitely we need Kobe White to start stepping it up a little bit here. So got to start getting up to those kind of 20 solid points a game category. So he does have a little bit of his work cut out for him in this kind of back half of the season. Alrighty, let's go to Jared Allen now. 13 points, and he's got the 9 rebounds a game. So kind of the second tier big, maybe third tier big. Got to see him putting up a little bit more rebounds if he wants to kind of compete with the Rudy Gobert and the Christian Wood, who are putting up, like 12 and 13 rebounds a game. So love what Jared Allen can bring to this team. We got to get a little bit more involved in this offense. We know it's really pretty much Colin Sexton and Jared Allen, just kind of the two big scorers here for this Cavs team. Really nothing special beyond those two players. So Jared Allen definitely can get it done. We saw him kind of going from the starting to the from the bench to the starting role here. So these 35 or these 27 minutes a game will probably increase, which will increase his rebounds, which will increase his points. So I think he's getting a little bit of, he's getting bogged down in the stats overall because of those bench numbers kind of weighing him down a little bit. But Jared Allen is fantastic. And we'll keep tabs on him, but definitely want to see these rebounding averages go up a little bit more, and they will. Alrighty, what else can we find here? Kemba Walker. Alrighty, let's start talking about him because, we haven't really seen any really clutchness by this man, so let's get kind of totals on him. So Kemba Walker here, 18 points a game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, whereas, Jason Tatum and... Well, let's find them first. Let's go to the Celtics. So let's kind of compare because, Kemba Walker kind of needs to be in this kind of 20-point-a-night category along with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown because they really don't have any great other scorers besides those three. And Kemba Walker is not the greatest scorer. We see him take a lot of unnecessary threes a game here. So here we go. Let's see where kind of he's ranking with the others here. So Jason Tatum's putting up 24 points a game. Jaylen Brown's putting up 24 points a game too. They're both putting up 24 points a game, and that's fantastic, but we need Kemba Walker to step it up because, the third or the fourth leading scorer is Marcus Smart, and he hasn't even been playing. He's only played 17 games. He's been out kind of the back half of the first half of the season. So they are missing valuable points with Marcus Smart, and we haven't really seen Kemba Walker step up his production really that much, which is a little frustrating because you need to step it up, and that's Kemba Walker's one biggest knock is that he doesn't step it up. He doesn't know what consistent winning is. He was with Charlotte for his entire career. They did nothing there I think he was there for some solid seasons. I want to say 5+. Do I dare say 8 seasons? I'll say 8 seasons. But Kemba Walker, he needs to kind of fit in a little bit better, just kind of be the facilitator a little bit more because Kemba Walker having 4 assists a game, that should be a lot higher. He should be kind of falling back to kind of a Chris Paul role. I'm just kind of facilitating the ball a little bit more. I'm not taking all these shots. I'm more the facilitator. Now, Chris Paul can still score and still show that ability to put up 22 to 25 points a night if that's what they need, and we've seen him do that, but he still gets those assists with the points, and that's where we need Kemba Walker to kind of be with the Celtics team if they really want any chance of going deep in this kind of playoff run in the East. And the East is very lackluster. It kind of always is. The West is a lot stronger than the East most of the time, and this season alone, it is kind of same like that. The West is stronger than the East, so there's no reason why the Celtics team should be any lower than 3 in the East, honestly. Maybe lower than 4. There's no reason for that. They should be a top 4 team here in the East, but we need better contribution here from Kemba Walker. Got to get those assists up. Yeah, just those assists. And then when we just look at everybody else, we get Daniel Tice, 9 points. He's only putting up 5 rebounds. And Tristan Thompson's honestly doing a little bit better here, which is kind of something that we've known. We do kind of like Tristan Thompson a little bit of a better big than Daniel Tice. So Tristan Thompson's putting up 7 points with 8 rebounds. But that's what we want the 5 to do because we do have some other great scorers in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So the bigs don't have to score. They don't need to have a Jokic role. They don't need to have a Giannis role of just kind of scoring bigs. Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson, they just need to be the rebounder, and we don't really get that from Daniel Tice here with the only 5 rebounds a game. And then we go to Robert Williams. What is this man doing? Kind of the third big that they have here. 6 points and 5 rebounds a game. I mean, he's doing better than Daniel Tice with a lot less minutes. So I respect Robert Williams for that. That's why I do not like. I hate Daniel Tice, folks. I'll admit it. I've been saying it forever, but I hate Daniel Tice. I think he's probably the worst big that's on a decent team. Get freaking Jared Allen on the Celtics team, and they'll turn around. They'll be good. They'll be top contenders here in the East. Alrighty, so that's kind of Kemba Walker in Boston. We need better contribution from Kemba Walker. Less threes, more assists, more efficient shooting, and they'll be decent, but he's got to make that change first. Alrighty, let's see if we can find somebody else here. We might have to go to page 3. Maybe not. We'll see. All right, let's go to Lonzo Ball. Let's talk about him because, he's kind of one of not the greatest pieces on the Pelicans. He doesn't really step it up consistently. He has been getting a little bit better this kind of last 2 weeks of the first half of the season. But overall, he's putting up 14 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Once again, needs to take a little bit of a better Chris Paul type of role. Now, we still kind of need some production out of Lonzo Ball, because we don't get any real production out of Eric Bledsoe. So let's just look at this team in total. So we'll go here to the Pelicans, to New Orleans. Can we look that up? Where are they at? Are they under Pelicans? What are they going to be under? I don't see New Orleans. Oh, it's right here. It is New Orleans. Just overlooking it. All right, here we go. So Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram putting up the points here. 25 points a game from Zion Williamson, 23 points a game from Brandon Ingram. But we need either Lonzo Ball or Eric Bledsoe to kind of be that second main scorer. And Eric Bledsoe's only putting up 12 points a game, or Lonzo's putting up 14. So Lonzo's putting up more points, more assists, and more rebounds than Eric Bledsoe. But Eric Bledsoe needs to get a little bit better in the scoring department so Lonzo Ball can just take the facilitator role, because that's what they need. They got the great shooter in Brandon Ingram. They got the great beef in Zion Williamson, and they still have Steven Adams down low, and then you can have a nice cash out shooter on the wing of Eric Bledsoe, and then just have Lonzo Ball just kind of be the facilitator, the Chris Paul of this team. But first, before they have that, they need Eric Bledsoe to start stepping it up. These 12 points a game are not going to get it done. We need him to in kind of like 17 to 20 points a game. So Eric Bledsoe definitely needs to step it up a little bit more, because Lonzo Ball cannot score and assist. We've seen that time and time again. It comes to kind of a sacrifice of one or the other. If he has a great shooting night, if he puts up a lot of points, the assists are down. If he doesn't have a great shooting night, if the points are down, then the assists and rebounds are usually up in those games. So we need another kind of outside shooter here for this Pelicans team, and we know Lonzo's not that great with the three, so we can't really rely on that. Is this saying he's making three? Oh my goodness. Is that all right? So maybe we're wrong here. Maybe the narrative is not that. I mean, he's putting up 3 points, three 3-pointers a game. Is that right? 3 made 3-pointers a game, and that's the highest on the team. So, wow. I did not expect that to happen. Interesting. And Eric Bledsoe's right there with 2, but I don't really see that production there from that. So, interesting that Lonzo Ball is putting up 3 3-pointers a game and making 3 3-pointers a game. Did not see that coming. All right, so that's right there, questioning our own narratives, kind of believing our own narratives a little bit too much there. So, but that doesn't change from the fact that we need other scoring production here, some outside scoring production. So we still do need Eric Bledsoe to step it up a little bit more. And then while we're here, let's look at Steven Adams. He's putting up 8 points and 8.9 rebounds a game. So definitely good, kind of this second tier, maybe dropping Steven Adams down to our third tier possibly of our bigs. Definitely need him to kind of get to those 10 points or 10 rebounds. Got to see something in double digits. But, he's getting there, and, he does, he's kind of been in and out of the starting lineup a little bit. So that's probably hurting his overall kind of stats here a little bit. But Steven Adams, doesn't need to be the true beef because you still have Zion Williamson. Doesn't need to be kind of that true scorer because you still have Brandon Ingram. So he's just kind of in between, just kind of filling in whatever needs to be done on a nightly basis. So, alrighty, that's the Pelicans. Let's kind of go back here. Let's find another player here. See if we can talk through it. Maybe we find that, somebody's good at hitting threes that we didn't think were. That's honestly crazy. I cannot believe Lonzo's hitting 3 threes a game. Where is that? Who else is hitting like 3 threes a game? Like top elite. I mean, Damien Lillard's hitting 4. Steph Curry's at 4, almost 5 at 4.8. I want to see where 3 is. Who is 3? I want a comparable comp to that, man. CJ McCollum's hitting almost 5 a game, but he only played 13 games before he got injured. 2.6 is Jason Tatum. Wow, shooting better than Jason Tatum. How crazy. Paul George is at 3.5. Donovan Mitchell is at 3.3. Fred VanVleet is at 3.4. And Kyle Lowry is at 2.9. So the man is Kyle Lowry, 18 points. But Kyle Lowry has 7 assists a game. So you see what we're saying here. Kind of want to see Lonzo Ball start to step it up. I mean, they play the same position, point guard. Kyle Lowry, Lonzo Ball. There's no reason that Lonzo Ball cannot be putting up 18, 7, and 5 a game. That's where we need Lonzo to be. Alrighty, so decent comp there. Alrighty, interesting. Truly, truly interesting there. Alrighty. Now let's find another player here. Alrighty, let's see what we can get here. Jordan Clarkson, we'll just shout him out real quick, kind of another kind of sixth man of the year candidate. And when we look at, comparing him to Thaddeus Young, Jordan Clarkson's got 17.9 points a game, so very, very close to that 18. 2 assists and 4 rebounds, where Thaddeus Young is having, 12 points. So definitely, the points goes to Jordan Clarkson. But look at these assists and rebounds. He's got 4 assists, so doubling the assists of Jordan Clarkson, and then 5.9 rebounds, so almost 2 more rebounds and 2 more assists than Jordan Clarkson. But Jordan Clarkson's got, 5 more points. So which do you weigh more? So that's why, I definitely want Thaddeus Young in the Sixth Man of the Year category, or just discussion, because, he is kind of doing what Jordan Clarkson isn't doing, the boards and the assists. Now, we know Jordan Clarkson's a great scorer. Nobody's doubting that. And that's why, he's very high up on the Sixth Man of the Year kind of front runner, is because he's getting you those points himself. He's getting you those points. Alrighty, so, I do want this kind of debate here of Thaddeus Young and Jordan Clarkson to be a little close. Let's see if we can quickly bring up what Montrezl Harrell is doing. And right here, he's number 93. And it's a little interesting. Thaddeus Young is actually ranked 78, where Jordan Clarkson's ranked 80. So, once again, ESPN, they have them very close. They've got Thaddeus Young at 27.3 ESPN points and Jordan Clarkson at 27.2. So very, very close. We're not out of our gourd here talking, folks. We are kind of knowing what we're talking about here. So I think this gives us a little validation that Thaddeus Young should be in that discussion, at least in the discussion. And then we get Montrezl Harrell, who is actually ranked 93, so kind of very, very below those other 2 players in the sixth man of our Sixth Man of the Year candidate. So Montrezl Harrell here, number 93. He's putting up 13 points, 1 assist, but the 6 rebounds. And, he's a big. He's working with LeBron and Anthony Davis and Marc Gasol. So there's a lot of other bigs that are getting rebounds and putting up points, but he's still finding great production here with, not a lot of production to be had for everybody else, because, they've got kind of their main starters are really kind of all their production. They really don't have a true go-to 6-man, although I do think Montrezl Harrell can be that man if they need that on a nightly basis, because we know we really can't count on Kuzma, whether he's in the starting lineup or coming off the bench. Can't really trust Caruso off the bench. Taylon, Horton, Tucker off the bench. It's been decent contribution this season, but not really reliable as Montrezl Harrell has been. And now that Anthony Davis has, kind of been out for these last kind of 2 weeks, Montrezl Harrell has really been elevating his own game. So I really think Montrezl Harrell, he's got 13.8 points, more points than Thaddeus Young. Still kind of decently close points-wise to Jordan Clarkson. The assist is very, very down. He's only at 1, folks. That's kind of possibly the big red flag in his Sixth Man of the Year resume, I would say. And then, but the rebounds are there, 6.4, and a lot better than Jordan Clarkson with the 4, and better with Thaddeus Young with the 5.9. So he does have something that he's better than the other 2 of the Sixth Man of the Year candidates, the rebounding. So, and that's kind of what we need from him. That's what he's all about. That's why we love him so much, is because he can clean up the glass and be that nice beef for the bench when Anthony Davis and Marc Gasol are not playing, or not in the game. Mostly just Anthony Davis. Don't really like Marc Gasol that much. Alrighty, so we are we're on track here, baby. We are truly on track here. Alrighty, let's go to Andrew Wiggins now, since we see his name and we do kind of talk highly of him. Actually, I kind of just want to go to this Warriors team in general, because I do want to keep tabs on Kelly Oubre. I want to see what his official stats are, because I'm not expecting too much from him. And like we say, he kind of needs to be kind of that number 2 scorer. And I think that's why a little bit that we get these rumors that Victor Oladipo and the Warriors are kind of maybe potential suitors for each other if a trade is going to happen before the trade deadline, because I don't think Kelly Oubre is kind of being that true production that they need. And look at this. We get the rankings of this Warriors team. Number 1 is obviously Steph Curry, but guess who number 2 2 is Andrew Wiggins, and that's exactly what we're talking about. That's exactly what we've been saying all season, that Andrew Wiggins is kind of a better producer than what Kelly Oubre's doing here this season. That's why we're very disappointed in Kelly Oubre Jr. and actually kind of praising Andrew Wiggins a lot here. So we are once again vindicated here. So let's read their stats. Kelly Oubre Jr. is still number 3 though, so let's all relax a little bit. So Andrew Wiggins, 17 points a game, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. Where Kelly Oubre's at 15.5 points, so less points than Andrew Wiggins. 1.4 assists, so less assists, but he does have more rebounds at 5.9. So he does have more rebounds, but everything else goes to Andrew Wiggins there. Alrighty, so yeah, definitely got to get that up. And look at this. I mean, we need Kelly Oubre to kind of be the scorer. He's kind of got to kind of be, the Klay Thompson in this kind of situation with Klay Thompson out. And Kelly Oubre Jr. is only making 1.7 threes a game, and Andrew Wiggins is making 1.8. So Andrew Wiggins is just the better scorer and the better three-point shooter than Kelly Oubre is. So he's definitely got to step it up. But, just kind of what the main point we're talking about here is that Andrew Wiggins is truly kind of undervalued here in the league. And once again, we put him in the All-Stars, and I think we are a little vindicated here with him kind of being the true number 2 here of this Warriors team. Alrighty, let's go back to all teams. Let's get another person here. We still got a couple times that we can, or a couple minutes that we can spend on this topic. So let's see what else we get here. I think we went, oh yeah, this is page number 1. I was going to say, I think we touched on the Raptors of kind of all their players having to be 20 points a game kind of scores, and they all kind of are the starters. So we were right about that as well. Let's keep going here. Alrighty. All right, I want to shout out Buddy Hield a little bit here because he's kind of going hugely under the market as well, just because he's on the Kings. I mean, we don't really talk about the Kings too much. We did for about a week period when they were on that big old streak, but then they floundered and crashed and burned truly after that 9-game losing streak after that big old nice win streak they were on. But Buddy Hield here, ranked 91 on the ESPN's kind of rankings here, ranking every player. So Buddy Hield, I mean, he's putting up 16 points a game, but his threes a game is at 3.9, folks. Very, very close to 4. And you know who the other players that we mentioned in that kind of 4 category? Damien Lillard, making more than 4 threes a game. CJ McCollum was at 4. Steph Curry was above 4, I think, like 5. Oh no, Steph Curry was at 4.8, very close to 5. But Buddy Hield, doesn't get a lot of play in that kind of great 3-point shooting. Paul George is only putting up 3.5, so Buddy Hield is a better 3-point maker than Paul George is. Donovan Mitchell's only at 3.3 made a game. So yeah, I mean, Buddy Hield truly under the radar here. I mean, Terry Rozier is at 3.4 threes a game. So better than all of them, folks, at 3.9 threes made a game. So truly great by Buddy Hield here. A true great player on this Kings team. Now, if he can get up to those 20-point categories, so it's, him and De'Aaron Fox being the main scoring output, then they can go on some nice runs. But, he's getting there. He's still a little young here. And if he's making, very close to 4 threes a game, we can definitely get behind that production, that great production as well. So Buddy Hield making a workout here. Alrighty, let's go to Dennis Schroeder now, because I want to kind of see, let's just talk about the Lakers, because I do kind of want to see where everybody's kind of faring here. If on kind of where we see the offense, it's probably LeBron James 1, Anthony Davis is kind of that true number 2, but Dennis Schroeder needs to be that 3. He needs to be that 3rd great scorer, that 3rd great production. So let's go here, and oh my goodness, once again, vindication, just of how ESPN is ranking these players. We are vindicated here. LeBron James is number 1. Anthony Davis is number 2. We knew that. That's not what we were talking about. But guess who is number 3 with only 24 little old minutes played a game? It's Montrezl Mother-loving Harold, folks. ESPN ranks him the 3rd best player on this Lakers team. And that's what we're talking about, folks. When we're talking about 6th man of the year, we're talking about solid, great production of just just a bench player alone. And Montrezl Harrell is only 24 minutes played a game, putting up 13 points and 6 rebounds. Fantastic. And then Dennis Schroeder is the number 4. So I would like for Dennis Schroeder to kind of be that number 3, but I want Montrezl Harrell to stay the number 3, so we're still vindicated here. But Dennis Schroeder playing 31 minutes, putting up 14 points a game. He does have the great assist with the 4.5 assists and 3.5 rebounds. But look at him only making 1 3-pointer a game. We cannot have that. That's what the Lakers need. They need great 3-point shooting. Kyle Kuzma's only putting up 1.8 3-pointers a game, but still only 11 points a game. So he's still not getting it done. Then we get KCP at the 6 here for the Lakers. 8 points a game, 1.5 threes made. Then Marc Gasol at number 7. Marc Gasol, that's what I'm saying. That's why we want Montrezl Harrell in the starting lineup without Anthony Davis. Get this man. Get Marc Gasol out of here. I really do not like this man. He's all right, but he's definitely aging out of the league. He had a great career, don't get us wrong, but he's kind of aging out of this league a little bit. And then we get Taylon Horton Tucker at number 8. 7 points a game. 0.5 threes made every game, so not even making 1 3 a game. Cannot be having that. So they definitely need that other great outside shooter, especially when Anthony Davis isn't there. But even when Anthony Davis is there, folks, they need a great 3-point shooter. Alrighty, let's keep going. Since we keep getting vindicated, we gotta keep going, right? Until we get proved wrong, and then we cut the segment short because we were wrong. All right. Alrighty, let's go to since we're seeing, okay. I want to look at these two teams, and then we may call it. But let's look at the Heat first, and then the Nets, because we just saw some names here, Goran Dragic and Joe Harris. We say that Goran Dragic is a huge, great piece of this Heat team. He should be kind of, the number 2 here. Just kind of on their rankings, it should probably be Jimmy Butler 1, Goran Dragic 2, and then probably Bam Adebayo 3. Bam Adebayo is probably number 2, honestly, just because Goran Dragic has kind of missed a couple of games here. And Bam Adebayo may be 1 because Jimmy Butler missed a lot of games. So we'll see what we get. But we'll look at the Heat first, and then I want to go to the Nets because I want to see where Joe Harris is stacking up because I think it's going to be great. And then I want to compare Joe Harris to Denny Green and Seth Curry, so we can get that narrative out of the way as well. So let's start here with the Heat first. All right, here we go, Heat. Let's see how they're kind of ranked here in their top players. Page error? Whoa, okay. You're telling me we can't bring up the Miami Heat? What's going on here? We're so right that they have to censor us? They can't let us be right again. All right, can we go to the Nets? We'll go to the Nets first, maybe. Brooklyn. Here we go. All right, we can go to the Nets. Can we go back to the Heat now? That page still down? All right, here we go, the Heat. All right, we're back. All right, here we go. Number 1 is Jimmy Butler for the Heat, obviously. 20 points a game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, not even making a 3 a game. I mean, that's what we know. He's not the best 3-point shooter. He doesn't even like to take a lot of threes. He's just great scoring, great production. So Jimmy Butler is number 1 for the Heat. Bam Adebayo is number 2. Once again, that doesn't surprise us. 19 points a game and 9 rebounds. So once again, kind of that tier 2 bigs we're talking about. Actually, is he in? Maybe even tier 1. Those 19 points, a lot of points, under 11 rebounds. He's only at 9.5. Definitely want to see him at 10, get those double digits. But yeah, Bam Adebayo, nice scoring, nice rebounding, fantastic. And then we get Tyler Hero at 3, and I would probably say he's at 3 because he's got a couple more games played than Goran Dragic, because Goran Dragic is 4 here, and Tyler Hero does have 3 more games played than Goran Dragic does. But Tyler Hero, 15 points a game, and he's making 2 threes a game. Wow. I thought that was a little light. I thought Tyler Hero was not having that great of a season here this season. I think he's definitely taken a little bit of a step back from last season in the bubble to this season, but I did not think Tyler Hero was making 2 threes a game. So 15 points a game, 3 assists, 5 rebounds for Tyler Hero. And then Goran Dragic, we get 14 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds with 1.6 threes made. So he's actually kind of the 4th leading 3-point shot made here. Kendrick Nunn is at 2 threes a game. Kelly Olynyk is at 1.9. No way. Wow. 1.9 and 5.9 rebounds. Wow. Only 10 points though a game. So definitely a bench big. Duncan Robinson. No way. I'm calling baloney on these stats. There's no way that Duncan Robinson's at 3.33 points made a game. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. I see this man struggling every single game. I see no solid production. Now, he is still only putting up 12 points a game, which isn't that great. Definitely could be a little bit better of Duncan Robinson. But I do not believe this 3 threes made a game. I don't believe that. I think that's wrong. I would probably say that's kind of questioning our own narrative right there. I did not think that was what he was averaging. Just when we look at the stats every single game, I really don't see anything that great from Duncan Robinson. But we'll start paying a little bit of close attention. Now that we have bars, we've got half-season bars on all these players, we can really judge performances even better in the back half of the season now. But I did not see that coming. Duncan Robinson, 3.3 threes made a game. Wow. Leading the team by far, truly. Alrighty. So Goran Dragic is number 4 here. Tyler Hero is at number 3. Once again, just kind of questioning our own narrative here. I did not think Tyler Hero was having that good of a season overall. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, hitting 2 threes a game. Alrighty. Goran Dragic is the better percentage shooter, though. Let's point that out. 45%, where Tyler Hero is at 43%. Alrighty, now let's go to the Nets because we got to see what Joe Harris does, and then we're going to kind of compare that because we've been seeing great. I mean, Joe Harris has really been a little bit of an unsung hero on that Nets team, just kind of filling in, still getting great production with, other great producers on the floor of James Harden and Kyrie Irving. So I truly expect Joe Harris to be number 3 over even Kevin Durant since he hasn't played that many games, and I really expect Joe Harris to be very, very high on this Nets team. So we want to compare Joe Harris to the 76ers because we see Danny Green. I got to look at his stats because we've been calling him trash all this first half of the season. And I also want to see what Seth Curry is doing also on that 76ers team because we obviously know Joel Embiid is going to be number 1. Ben Simmons is probably number 2. Tobias Harris should be 3. Maybe Tobias Harris is 2. Ben Simmons is 3. Whatever they kind of rank heavier, just kind of offensive scoring production or defensive and all those together. So we'll see. But the point is going to be Danny Green and Seth Curry are easily the number 4 and 5 on that team, but I want to see how they stack up against Joe Harris because Joe Harris is having great contribution here as kind of a main 3-point shooter, and that's what Seth Curry and Danny Green need to be for that 76ers team. So if Joe Harris is having great production with great scores on this team and still finding ways to get 3 threes made a game, 15 plus points, the rebounds, the assisting, if he's still able to do that with James Harden and Kyrie Irving on the floor, there should be no reason that Danny Green and Seth Curry cannot be producing with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris on the floor. So that's what we're going to be looking at now, and that's probably where we're going to end this segment. But let's get this going. So here we go. The Nets first. Alrighty. Joe Harris is 6. Unbelievable. They still, I cannot. All right. Whoever made this is just ridiculous and wrong because Jared Allen is still above Joe Harris for this Nets team, and Jared Allen only played 12 games. So something is wonky here. But that just goes to speak that Jared Allen's fantastic. Once again, we're right here. So we're right both times here. Jared Allen is great and Joe Harris is great. So once again, we're a little vindicated. All right, but let's start talking about this. James Harden is number 1, and rightfully so. 25 points a game in those 11 assists. It's truly fantastic. Nobody is even close to those 11 assists. We went over that the other day. Kevin Durant is number 2 here. Funny that Kevin Durant is still kind of better than Kyrie Irving, even though he has a lot less games played, about 10 less games played. So, Kyrie Irving, let's settle it down. You're nowhere near a number 1. You're nowhere near, you're basically a number 2, but even on this team, you're the number 3, folks. So, yikes. So, Kevin Durant's averaging 29 points a game, 7 rebounds, but once again, he only played 19 games. Kyrie Irving, 27 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Once again, not the best scorer, not the best rebounder, not the best assister, just, number 2. Number 2. And then we get Karis LeVert, once again, who has not been on this team. Jared Allen, once again, who has not been on this team. And then we get Joe Harris at number 6. Really should be a little bit higher than that. So if we take out the 2 players that are no longer on this team, Karis LeVert and Jared Allen, then Joe Harris bumps up to the 4 just by default there. So we understand that. So Joe Harris here. 14 points a game. I thought it was a little bit better. I was expecting probably like 15 to 17, but 14.8 is basically at 15. He's putting up, what do you got here? Three rebounds, 1 assist. But this 3-point, look at this. He's at 3.4, folks. So right up there, kind of that second tier under the fours. If you're not truly at 4, you're in the kind of that second category of just 3. And he's a solid 3-point shooter still, folks. So love it. He's actually, the best 3-point scorer on the team. Kyrie Irving's averaging 2.9. Kevin Durant's averaging 2.6. And James Harden is still averaging 3.3. So still, once again, Joe Harris is still finding ways to be productive and still be the best 3-point shooting on this team that's full of freaking stars and shooting guards and scoring guards. And Joe Harris here, the 4th option here, still getting it done. So I absolutely love it. So now we have to kind of compare this 3.4 3-pointers made a game to Danny Green and Seth Curry for the 76ers. So let's see what we got here. Alrighty, Philadelphia. Where are they at? Right here. All right, here we go. So we're expecting it to be Joel Embiid 1, Joel Embiid 1, Ben Simmons 2, Tobias Harris 3, Seth Curry 4, Danny Green 5. Let's see what we get here. So Joel Embiid is number 1, 30 points a game, 11 rebounds, fantastic. Ben Simmons is number 2 with 16 points a game. 7 assists, 7 rebounds, fantastic. Then Tobias Harris is number 3, 20 points, 7 rebounds. Once again, kind of exactly following how we think. And then actually Shake Milton is number 4 off the bench, fantastic. So Shake Milton is over Seth Curry and Danny Green. And then we get Seth Curry at number 5 at 12 points. 2 3-pointers made a game. Once again, that needs to be up. That's all they are here to do. We don't care about the assists. We don't care about the rebounds. You got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris for all those other categories. Defense, passing, rebounding, under the basket scoring, paint scoring, all those go to the other 3 players. The only thing that we're asking Seth Curry and Danny Green to do is hit threes. That's all they need to do, and they're only at 2. They're not even that second tier. They're third tier. How can you be third tier? We need y'all to be in that second tier. We would love for you to be in that first tier, that 4 3-pointers made a game where Seth Curry's at, where basically Damien Lillard's at, where basically CJ McCollum's at, where basically Buddy Hield's at, that 3.9, 3.8. We would love you to be in that 4, but Danny Green and Seth Curry coming up very short here. So Seth Curry's only at 2, and then we get Danny Green at 6. Danny Green shouldn't even be in the starting lineup. How funny is that? Danny Green should not even be in the starting lineup. They rank him number 6 best player here. Get Shake Milton. I mean, he's having 1.1 threes a game. But still putting up 13 points, more points than Seth Curry, more points than Danny Green. I mean, Danny Green's not even averaging 10 points a game. He's averaging 8.5. What are we talking about here? Danny Green is a bum, folks. Officially bum. If we have our cash and trash list, he's a true trash for this entire first half of the season, folks. Oh, my God. Danny Green, 2.2 threes made a game. Unfortunate. Truly awful. Six best player on this freaking 76ers team. Truly comical. Danny Green is a fraud. Seth Curry on the verge of a fraud. Number 5 here. Very close to falling out of this starting lineup. Oh, man. And let's look at what Dwight Howard's doing off the bench. He's putting up 7 rebounds off the bench in only 15 minutes. I truly love what Dwight Howard's doing. Kind of revitalized his career last season with the Lakers and is kind of carrying it over here to this season with the 76ers. So Dwight Howard's actually the 7th best player for this team. He's right under Danny Green here. So love that by Dwight Howard to come in and get those 7 rebounds. He's actually rivaling Ben Simmons with 7.9 and Tobias Harris was 7.6. So Dwight Howard off the bench is getting 7.3. This is truly fantastic work by Dwight Howard here. So absolutely love it. Truly love it. Alrighty. Alrighty, that's going to do it for our questioning our own narratives for today. And then tomorrow, I think we're going to kind of finish off all these other teams. We're just going to kind of look at team-wise where kind of their ranking order is. So we'll kind of go off on that. The other teams that we haven't done today, we'll kind of finish that off because, once again, there's no NBA on today. There is tomorrow night, but tomorrow day, while we're on, we'll finish off here kind of shoring up our own narratives right before the second half of the season starts. So we'll finish that off tomorrow on the show. Alrighty, let's finish it off today's show with our NFL Draft Prospect of the Day. We are on a 73-day countdown to the NFL Draft, looking at prospects. Who should our teams be taking? Who should our teams be kind of staying away from a little bit? Who should our teams be trading up to go and get? Get them now. Trade all your picks. Go, trade up to like number 4, number 5, not number 3, because that's not up for sale, folks. We're telling y'all. That Dolphins pick is not up for sale. But, for these other teams, the 2 seed, the 1 seed, I doubt that gets traded, but the 4 seed, the 5th seed, what should our teams be trading up for to desperately go and get to shore up the last piece that our team needs? So today's NFL Draft Prospect of the Day is Elijah Moore, wide receiver from Ole Miss. Now, just right off the rip, well, first we're going to look at the stats and then we'll look at the tape. We got some highlights on him as well. But we got to talk about the elephant in the room now, the size. The size of this man at a wide receiver is 5'9". Okay, alrighty. We get Tyreek Hill at 5'10", still getting it done. 5'9" height is basically like Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's like 5'8", so Elijah Moore is more of a smaller, maybe quicker wide receiver. We'll see if he's as quick as Tyreek Hill, if he goes and plays the ball as kind of well as Tyreek Hill does, or if he's more of a Cole Beasley type of role. So just kind of a small red flag right off the rip with the height, but hopefully the stats, the highlights kind of, put that little red flag to rest, put it at ease, maybe even, change that red flag for a green flag. We'll see. Alrighty, so let's start with the stats first. Here we go. 3 seasons at Ole Miss. First year in 2018, his freshman year, he played 11 games, had 36 receptions for 398 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, he doesn't really rush that much. He had 8 rushing yards in that 2018 season. All right, then 2019 getting a little bit better here. 67 receptions, so getting more touches. 850 yards, so touches went up, yards went up. Fantastic. 6 touchdowns, and he ran 4 times for -1 yards. Not very good running the ball. All right, then that brings us to the 2020 season. 86 receptions, so once again, the touches go up, utilizing him more, and the games went down. He only played 8 games. I think Ole Miss played 10 games this season. They also made it to a bowl game. So we'll get into that in a second. But so he had 86 receptions in only 8 games, and he had 1,193 yards, 8 touchdowns. He ran 14 times for 64 yards. So really getting better every single season, getting a bigger workload every single season. The receptions keep going up, even with the games sometimes are coming down, and the yards always went up. The touchdowns always went up. The average yards per catch always went up. I mean, his freshman year, he was having 11 yards a catch. His sophomore year, he had 12 yards a catch. His junior year, he had 13, very close to 14 yards a catch at 13.9. We'll round it up to 14. Why not? So getting better every single year is a huge green flag to us. That is fantastic. Very, very well done. And especially he only played 8 games and still was able to get 1,100 yards. That's fantastic. Very close to 1,200. We'll call it 1,200 yards. We'll call it 14 yards a catch here. It's just fantastic work. Now we got to a bowl game, so let's look at that. Well, unfortunately, we can't because he opted out of the bowl game. He only played 8 games, and Ole Miss played 10, did not show up to that bowl game. So let's see what he did his final game. We'll take his final game here against Mississippi State. 139 yards, 12 receptions. No touchdowns, unfortunately, but they do still get the win. So still pretty good here. Pretty good. Alrighty, but let's go to their bowl game. Did they still win the bowl game without him? Did they lose because they didn't have him? So let's check that out real quick. Is Elijah Moore a huge, crucial piece of this offense? Because if he didn't play in the bowl game, I would expect, Ole Miss to lose. So let's see what happened here. Alrighty, Ole Miss this season, they went 5-5. Got to the bowl game against number 7 Indiana and won. Wow, a huge upset there against number 7 Indiana. Holy moly! And they ended up winning 26-20. Wow. They put up 26 points. Defense held them very nicely to 20. I mean, Indiana was 6-2, folks. They were 7th in the country. Holy moly! Ole Miss was 5-5. Alrighty. Well, what wide receiver did they use? Who got all of his action here? Henry Parrish Jr. had 63 yards, no touchdowns. Matt Corral had 30. Oh, no, this is rushing. All right, never mind. All right, here we go. These are the receivers here. Dontario Drummond, 6 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. Holy moly, that's good. Casey Kelly, 6 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Jackson, 38 yards on 4 receptions. So let's see what this Dontario Drummond man was doing. Is he kind of rivaling him for a lot of yards? No, he only had 417 this season. So he just steps up for this game. Alrighty. So Dontario Drummond steps up in place of Elijah Moore in the bowl game and pretty much has the same output. So that's not the biggest green flag for Elijah Moore because, Elijah Moore's output was pretty much over 100 yards a game. He was pretty much having that entire season in 2020. You don't get 1,100 yards on 8 games played by not having 100-plus yards a game. Alrighty, so a little bit of a green flag here. A little bit of a red flag there in the bowl game, but green flag overall by the stats. Alrighty, let's go to the highlights now. So the stats were all good. The stats were definitely there. Getting better every single year, having 1,100 yards in only freaking 8 games, having multiple touchdowns, getting those up every single year, getting those yards per catch up every single year to 14 this year. That's fantastic. So let's see what the tape is telling us. Is he looking as good as he is on the paper? Is he looking better than he is on paper? Is he looking worse? Should we stay away from him? Are all these stats maybe a little bit of a red herring, a little bit of a, hey, look this way because the film's not that good. So here we go. The number is number 8, so we can kind of track him easily. So here we go. Elijah Moore, wide receiver for Ole Miss, 2020 highlights here. Here we go. Alrighty, first play here. Just kind of a little swing route in the backfield. Takes it for about a 9-yard gain here. Now, when we look at him kind of juke back inside, I mean, not really fast on the out juke. So, when you cut in, you got to cut out just quickly. And he kind of slows all the way down here just to kind of come back inside for an extra 2 yards. Alrighty. So the acceleration, maybe a little bit of a question mark just on that first play alone. But we're back to the second play here. Over the middle of the field. Here we go. And he tries to just kind of squeeze his way into the middle there, trying to cut up some defenders there instead of bouncing it outside. All right, but still a good catch over the middle of the field. And that's probably what we're expecting from this man. He's only, like we said, he's only 5'9", so more of a Cole Beasley, lining up in the slot a little bit, slant routes, quick crossing routes, nothing deep down the field, since he's not a big old wide receiver that can go up and high point the ball and beat a 6'1" corner. So here we go, a little jet sweep on the third play, getting to outrun everybody. Picks up about 10 yards, so decent there. Alrighty, wide open here in the middle of the field, and now it's a foot race. Now we're seeing some speed. Alrighty, definitely does not have Tyreek Hill speed. Definitely is not like that, so we can mark that off the table. This man is not Tyreek Hill 2.0. Going deep. Okay. All right. Beat the defender there a little bit. Didn't really high point the ball. Ball was coming down a little bit here, but he got in front of the defender, made a decent play on the ball here. Let's watch it one more time. Yeah, I mean, that's a good catch right there. It's a solid catch. Just, defender did not play that great coverage on him. All right, we'll watch it one more time from the back angle here. I mean, beat the defender basically the entire route. The ball hung up there a little bit for the defender to come, but still the defender did not make a good play on the ball. Alrighty, once again, over the middle of the field. He's not breaking any tackles. He's not really outrunning everybody. So that's a little... Well, he broke that tackle in the backfield as soon as we say that. So he did break a little bit of a tackle here. That's his pretty decent. Maybe a little bit of a bad tackle here. Trying to make the big play, just bounces off of it. All right. All right, what else do we get from this man? I start to see some greatness. I'm seeing just all right so far. Nothing to make me go, wow, so far. A little disappointed. All righty. This quarterback's looking good. Who's this Florida quarterback? Is this Trask? Is that right? Because he's looking good. He's looking good. These throws are looking good. All righty. This time against Kentucky now. All those were against Florida. Or, hang on, I'm at Ole Miss. This quarterback was looking good. So we might look at this man. Let's watch. Look at this throw one more time. That's pretty good. That's actually good. Flipping the hips, squaring it up, looking off the defenders. That was fantastic. I think I'm a little bit more impressed with these passes and catches so far. All right, but we're back against Kentucky here. All right, now we're talking about a catch here. Yes, sir. A little bit high on this one. Has to go up and kind of actually high point the ball on this one. Takes a big hit, too, and holds on. All righty. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Slant over the middle of the field. Can't outrun the safety. To the edge, unfortunately. So, yeah, no breakaway speed, unfortunately, for the smaller kind of receiver here. Wide open in the middle of the field. Not breaking any tackles here. 23 just swallowed that man up. Holy moly. Look at this defender, 23. Let's get a name on him for Kentucky. Oof. I might be taking him. He draft eligible, the linebacker. So Elijah speed, no game-breaking speed. And not really so great at breaking tackles. Not great at it. Alrighty, here we go. Let's keep on with the tape. What do we got? Alrighty, in the red zone, just going down the line. I mean, he's wide open here. Just couldn't really keep up with the speed here. We had a linebacker on him, just kind of gets lost in the mix, goes over the other defender, and he's just really cleanly open on the front of the goal line. Alrighty, against Alabama here, a nice slant, and this was tight. And he's still able to kind of grab it. So, I mean, he's working very well on the slant routes. He will catch a lot of contested balls, and when you're coming over across the middle of the field, I mean, that's probably the most dangerous part of the field. You know you're probably going to get your head taken off by, a safety coming over the top or another corner converging on you. So, still, it takes guts to go over the middle of the field. We get a nice little catch here, very low, but look at him go down and get the ball and actually stays on his feet while catching it. So, yes, sir. I mean, for a 5'9" receiver, that's just kind of, a little bit of a slant machine a little bit. I mean, this is good. This is, you need this on your team at some point, You need a nice little slant player. Nice little slot receiver. Once again, kind of eating against Alabama here and keeping up. I mean, once again, look at this. What do we at? 11-point game here with 2 minutes left. So still keeping it close. Still kind of on the outscoring or the output of the scoring department. Putting up 45 here against Alabama. Not bad here. All right, now he's going to go deep. He's going deep to him. Able to kind of get behind some defenders and then a big shot by the safety. And they're going to call a penalty on that. That's a clean shoulder to shoulder. That's no penalty there. But yeah, this is a good route by him. Let's watch him. Nice little double move. And the fact that, once again, he's got great hands. He knows he's going to take the big old shot by the safety coming across the middle, coming over the top. That's a good clean hit right there. That's a good clean hit. Hopefully they picked up that flag. Alrighty, against Arkansas now. Once again, over the middle of the field. Cannot beat everybody to the sideline, unfortunately. So once again, yeah, he does not have no great game-breaking speed. Cannot run out everybody. But just catching it over the middle. The man's great at it. Right here in the end zone. Great throw here by this Ole Miss quarterback might be having something going on here. Let me mark him down. We'll see if he's going to be draft eligible. And if he is, we'll kind of do another show on him. But the quarterback, not bad there. Alrighty, nice little catch over the middle. Once again, slanting over the middle. Gets it done. He's fearless. I'll jot that down. Let's get a positive note on this man. Fearless over the middle. Takes the big hits. Doesn't fumble the ball. Doesn't drop the ball. Fantastic. Oh my goodness, this window is wild. This window's wild that he fit this ball in. Woo! That's a fantastic play. Holy moly. Quarterback and receiver. Alrighty, going deep against Vanderbilt. Wide open. Probably a half a step on the defender as the ball was coming down, but very well done. I mean, he's got some solid speed. It's solid speed. I mean, he's short, so he should have some solid speed. Just not Tyreek Hill speed. Not, take the top off the defense speed. Here he is just beating him to the corner here from like the 2-yard line. Just kind of a nice little speed option to the left and just outrunning everybody. This is where this man's going to work. Kind of just speed plays right off the rip. That's what this man can do. Alrighty, look at this ball. Okay, now we're talking about it. Just outrunning the defender here. He looks like he's on a linebacker, and yes, he's got enough speed to beat linebackers, not a lot of speed to kind of beat safeties and corners, and that's what we're talking about, kind of true speed, true game-breaking speed. Game-breaking speed is able to kind of outrun safeties and corners. Great speed is able to kind of outrun linebackers consistently, and that's what he just did there, so fantastic. And now, oh yes, against South Carolina, just running through all the defenders right here. And once again, that's what this man can bring to your team, just kind of the small shiftiness. And that's what we got here on this play. A nice little 20, maybe 25, 30-yard pickup here. Doesn't break for the entire touchdown, but still some nice pickup there on a nice play. Alrighty, the pump fake goes even deep, and this man's wide open. Can he close out this speed? Can he close out this speed? Yes, he does. Yes, sir. Alrighty, how did he get so wide open here? Right here, just once again, a double move. He starts inside and then cuts back outside, and there it is, wide open. Single safety that was favoring the right side of the field. He goes to the left. Fantastic. We get another. I would like another look on this one. We don't get it, unfortunately. Alrighty, now Ole Miss is officially on top in this game, and once again, there he is, over the middle a little bit, getting behind the secondary, wide open for the touchdown for a nice little 25-yard touchdown pass there. Alrighty, now we're starting to see some nice separation on these defenders. Can't play zone against this man. You better have somebody fast on him. Alrighty, going deep again. There we go. About a half a step on the defender. Probably a full step, but the pass maybe a tad underthrown. Let's watch how many yards he winds up for, because he threw it from about the 30, getting it all the way down to the 20. Hang on. He's going to throw this from the 25, getting it all the way down to the 20. Holy moly, what is that? Oh, is that only 45? 25 plus, no, 55. That's 55. Holy moly. Yeah, that's 55 yards, folks. Okay, yeah, this Ole Miss quarterback's got something going on. All right. Alrighty, now we're officially sold on this Ole Miss quarterback, but let's focus here on the wide receiver. Very well done. Getting open, catching the ball while the corner was barreling down, closing out, and he's still able to make the catch. So, alrighty, some nice hands here. We get a nice little kind of separate look on this one, just following him around. He loves this kind of starting inside, cutting back outside. He loves that kind of route, and he runs it actually kind of perfectly, selling the inside and faking back to the outside back quickly, or, starting outside and faking back inside. So, that's what this man can do. You need kind of some time for that route to develop, but if you have the time, if the great production is there, he can get downfield and pretty much be wide open. Alrighty. So Elijah Moore, not bad there. Obviously not one of the top wide receivers we've seen. And we've seen kind of another Tyreek Hill. I'm blanking on the name. It's in the notes, though, so, no worries there. But, yeah, just a solid pickup here. Not going to be one of the top receivers off the board. Probably late first round, probably second round, probably a little bit more realistically. But, yeah, some solid stuff there. Nice catching ability for a nice little 5'9" slot player, slot wide receiver. Nothing great, nothing bad, just solid, good play. I would say above average play there by this man. Alrighty, that's Elijah Moore, folks. Wide receiver from Ole Miss. Alrighty, now let's close out the show. Let's see if anything broke while we were live. Anything breaking? Huh. It Looks like nothing. Oh, Lions don't plan to use franchise tag on Kenny Golladay. Did y'all? That's exactly what we said. We heard their language that the Lions wanted to do something that was good for them and for Kenny Golladay, and that means to us that you don't care about the player. You're going to do what's good for you and not the player. So we know that Kenny Golladay was not going to get franchise tag for the Lions. So once again, vindicate. Folks, we know what we're talking about here. Give us our respect. Damn, we were right all day today. Questioning our own narratives. Didn't even need to do that because we were right most of the time. Alrighty. Kenny Galladay's not getting franchise tag. We knew that. Alrighty, what else do we get here? Giants general manager Dave Gettleman asked about the quarterback movement around the league and if he'll dip into it. Quote, we've done 2 years of evolution on Daniel Jones and we really believe he's the guy. Yes, no need to go looking. It takes time. Everybody needs to oh my goodness. Once again, fantastic. We love Daniel Jones here. We are vindicated. Folks, Daniel Jones is fine. He's getting better every single season. And now that, once Saquon Barkley's fully healthy, it's going to be a dangerous squad here with the Giants. So, once again, we are very much looking forward to watching the Giants next season. And they'll rival whoever is going to be the front runner to the NFC, whether, Washington kind of takes another leap forward like they did this season, or if Cowboys get back on track, or even if Jalen Hurts kind of steps up and kind of beats the guy. I definitely can see the Giants being at the top of this NFC East come week 16, 17 when it's time to kind of secure that lead. So Daniel Jones is fine, folks. They're fine. Love Daniel Jones. I love this man. Daniel Jones is my favorite quarterback of all time. Don't play with us. We are a Daniel Jones fan account now. The flag will turn into Daniel Jones. The portraits will turn into Daniel Jones as well by tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Alrighty. I think that might be it. That might be it. Trey Lance, one of the top quarterbacks in the 2021 NFL draft. I'm not a big fan of this man. I don't think it's going to work. But he won't run the 40-yard dash at his pro day? That's kind of what he is. He's a true dual threat. I would have liked to see him run that 40. Especially when you didn't play in that great of a conference. You really need to pull out all the stops at the combine or the pro day or whatever it is. Don't think they're having a combine. I think everything's just pro day this year. But still, don't really like that too much. All right, that's looking like it right now. That's looking like it's it. So somebody go get Kenny Golladay. He's great. I cannot believe the Lions are not getting this man down. I don't know. I do not like any single move that Dan Campbell has made so far this season, honestly. So good luck. Good luck, Lions fan. Matt Patricia to Dan Campbell. Yikes. Glad it's not my franchise. Glad it's not my franchise. I had to put up for Dan Campbell for only a couple weeks, not an entire season. So that was good for us. Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow, day 24 of our NFL Draft Prospect Countdown, and then we'll be finishing up questioning our own narratives to get us ready for the second half of the NBA season. Cannot wait. Alrighty, we're out of here, folks.